A very good morning to you. Many thanks for joining us on U45 Morning Show. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye, and I hope you had a pleasant weekend. Welcome.
Good morning, Nigerians. I am Osage Wilfred Solomon.
Good morning. Welcome to U45 Morning Show. I'm Patience Willie.
All right, today on U45 Morning Show, as usual, we help you drive your day, and that definitely your day is a certainty and it's going to be very beautiful with us. And so today on the program, we'll be looking at the issue on the front burner, and this is about the young artist that was killed. There's been a lot of controversies surrounding the death of Ilerioluwa, also known as Mohbad. And now the police has come up with their investigation. We will be looking at the investigation. Now talking about Mohbad's death investigation, police reports, and then we look at security narrative. What are security especially saying about this? This and many more is what we will be looking at on today's show. However, as usual, we'll let you know what is happening in the country. We keep you abreast with issues in Nigeria and beyond the country. So let's see what the dailies are saying. Well, this morning we will start with the Daily Sun, and the headline here reads, Tinubu Atiku fight hard over CSU FBI files, and the writer reads, President's Chicago lawyer hits ex-VP, says is chasing shadows. A government planning to gag media ahead of release of investigative files. This is according to Atiku. You will find a story on page 6 of The Sun. Another headline here reads, FG at crossroads over rising cost of petrol. Subsidy mandatory, Pengasan. That story is on page 22 of the Sun newspaper. Another headline says, Guba, why APC must retain Kogi Tinubu governors. That's attributed to Tinubu and the governors. The writer says, the party receives defectors from opposition. That story is on page 29 of the Sun. Another one reads, Serap wants courts to stop Akpabio orders from collecting salaries, pensions as senators. That story is on page 28 of the Sun. And on the foreign scene, it reads, Afghan earthquakes kill 2,053, death toll rises, and 9,240 injured, 1,320 houses destroyed. That story is on page 29 of the Sun. And finally, on the Sun newspaper, it reads, Electricity Act 2023, 7 million unmetered customers risk disconnection. And I think this is a strong story, and it needs to be talked about. Talking about the tariff and the need for people to update their meters.
Of course, it needs to be looked into, because the tariffs these days have gone so high, unlike what used to pertain in the past. It's really, really outrageous,
Definitely.
Yeah, and you're right. And I don't know if in some places, some customers are still complaining about epileptic power supply.
True.
So if power supply is not consistent, then we shouldn't be talking about increase in tariff. So this is a very sensitive story, and we might need to review it.
So let's see what the next paper is saying.
Now onto the Punch. The shouting headline says, CBN investigator probes banks over 1.27 trillion intervention funds. 1.27 trillion anchor borrower loans, other undisbursed in 5 banks. Also, it says special investigator to summon bank CEOs over intervention funds. That's on page 2 of the Punch newspapers. Also on the Punch newspaper, it says Sanwo-Olu orders demolition of markets built on drainage. That's on page 6. Sanwo-Olu orders demolition of markets built on drainage. Page 6 of the Punch newspapers. Also on the Punch newspapers, it says Federal government to grill Empower consultants. Plans 5 million jobs for youths. That's on page 21 of the Punch newspapers. Also, it says road crashes deaths dropped by 1,118, says FRSC, page 7 of the Punch newspapers. And finally, on the Punch newspapers, it says pension in 24.4 trillion naira deficit before reforms. Pencom DG. That's on page 28 of the Punch newspaper.
This particular story, which reads that Governor Sanwo-Olu orders demolition of markets built on drainage. Yes, you talk about the safety of market women, traders, and what have you. But another question you want to ponder upon is, what is the alternative that government will be providing for these people? We have not also forgotten how the Lagos State government also went to Owerri Shoki, where the demolished houses, they said houses that are 100 meters away from the sea will be demolished, and at the end of the day, it was houses demolished was even beyond the 100 meters, and up until now, the people are still under open roof. This is another demolition about to happen. The clarion call on the authorities is for an alternative to be provided for these people, because what we have to check here is a balancing. When you talk about security, there's no way you want to talk about security when you have people that are unemployed, jobless, idle. So we need to consider this. So what do you think?
There really has to be a balance, because before you go in there to demolish their shops, there should have been an allocation for an alternative place to relocate them to, because by the time they break these shops, these people will be jobless and they will not have any business, they will not have money, they will not have a source of income.
And not to talk of the state of the economy at the moment.
Yes.
So I just think government needs to be more sensitive. More sensitive,
they have
such
to,
that we don't have a situation at hand that we will be unable to handle.
I understand the plight of the government, due to the drainage system issues we're having in Lagos, the flooding issues, so the government is trying to help proper water flow in that access. There are some structures, according to the governor, that are illegally built.
Definitely shanties also.
Okay.
But the government also need to have alternative for these traders so that they will not be stranded.
And then on The Guardian, the major story is war in Middle East may spiral. Push monthly petrol subsidy to 644.8 billion. This you can see on page 6 of The Guardian. Now, another story says Atiku Keyamo trade words over Tinubu's certificate. This can be found on The Guardian newspaper page 6. Then Wema Bank rewards winners of Hackaholics 4.0 with over 50 million. The story can be found on the finance page 15. Another story says 107 ex-senators urge caution on Tinubu's certificate saga. The story can be found on The Guardian page 3. Tinubu pledges 500,000 jobs as Ajaokuta still nears completion. That's on page 3 of The Guardian. Talking about pledges for jobs. What do you have to say about this, Madam Nike?
Well, I really think that it is coming in good time, really, because if you look at the rate of unemployment in the country, it is quite alarming. So for the presidency to come up with this, I think is a very good thing. And like we always say, it is not just by words. What remains to be seen is implementation. It is not today that we've seen different governments come, make promises. We saw such promises even during the immediate past president of the country, former President Muhammadu Buhari. And up until now, Nigerians are still complaining about lack of jobs. So my appeal will just be for the sitting president to ensure that this is backed with action, because let it not just be about just talk. Talk is cheap. Talk talk is cheap, but what is most important is making your word your bond.
Your bond,
Because
yes.
At this moment, Nigerians are really, or unemployed Nigerians really need the job.
They
And
do.
it must come now so
Yes.
that these homes will be able to fend for
For the
themselves.
families.
Yeah, talking about government's promises, it reminds me of the N-Power project, that the government started, and as at yesterday, the minister says that the project has been suspended due to irregularities. So it's one thing to start a project, it's another thing to sustain it. So
Sustenance.
it is good news that the Ajaokuta steel is nearing completion and jobs will be provided for the youth, for the unemployed. So the government have to make sure they map out strategies that can help sustain, creation of jobs and how it can also affect our economy.
All right, beautiful. Let's quickly look at Business Day. On Business Day, the headline reads, Pricing turns cement makers new battleground. That story is in a Business Day. Another headline reads, Nigerians await Obazi's report on CBN and Tinubu's action. That is also on Business Day. And then you have Wema Bank rewards Hackaholics 4.0 winners with over 50 million naira. That story is on page A7. Now another one reads, Eneric Swan, NDPHC partner to tackle on-grid inefficiency. That still boils down to power, and that's still on page A7. Another headline reads, UBA, Zenith, GTCO lead Nigeria's 7 most profitable firms. Well, you can get all of that story in the Business Day. And I think this is where we're going to wrap it up on a newspaper review. Let's ensure that we get all of these papers so we are abreast of what is happening in the country. We'll take a short break here, and when we return, it will be time for us to look at the report as presented by the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State. And we also have the views of security experts on this. Join us again.
What up, guys? How's your day going? How are you doing this? I want to believe that you're having fun, right? This bright and sunny day. You know that once you see this duo on your TV screen, we're here to serve you some entertainment.
And of course, entertaining gist coupled with good music won't hurt anybody, right? So here on Super Lunch, we get to entertain you, educate you on recent happenings in the world of entertainment. I am your girl, Eva Grace.
And I am Shegun Dinola Adeyemi, the Duke of your airwaves. You know how it is. We serve you good entertainment Mondays all through to Fridays. And that's how we do. We'll take you on a smooth ride of entertainment. So don't go nowhere. Join us every Mondays to Fridays. We love you guys.
Well, so glad to have you back. You're still watching U45 Morning Show. Yes, I told you earlier that we will be looking at Mohbad's death investigation report and also have expert views in regards to that. But before that, of course, business is very important to you and I. Like they say, money makes the world go round. So right about now, we are being joined by our business analyst, Olusegun Okunade. Olusegun Okunade, good morning.
Good morning to you, Nick. Good morning to you, Solomon, and my sister, and all our beautiful viewers. A very beautiful Monday morning, a blessed one, and a very bright one indeed.
Good morning, Jason.
Morning.
You're gradually looking to be like a pastor. I'm sure that is Sunday, Monday.
Spilling over to Monday.
You must have preached in church. You're welcome.
Definitely, it's not an accident that Monday is after Sunday. So you must have an overflow of Sunday flow into Monday. That's why you see it more serious.
So Olusegun, quickly, let's look at what the paper is saying. The major headline here on Business Day says Nigerians await Obazie's report on CBN, Tinubu's action. You recall that when this administration came into power, an investigative team was, inaugurated to look at the Apex Bank. So, what's your take on this?
Thank you very much. We saw the president commissioned John Obasi and his team in investigating some of the issues that were raised by corporate organizations, individuals, and government agency on some of the activities of the Apex Bank. We all know that during the last administration, we saw a lot of divergent steps taken by the Apex Bank. What we know them for critically is monetary policy, looking how to regulate our funds and also tame the aspect of inflation. But under their regime, we saw this soaring higher, practically like every day as we woke up, and that has actually complicated the issue currently as we speak. So that necessitated the issue of the president setting up an investigative panel. But be it as it may, we may definitely look at the report of the panel coming out in no distance time. But we have also said the current management of the Apex Bank actually knows some of the issues. And while they were being interviewed or being screened by the Senate, there were issues of some of the things that they intend to do. And can we keep the ground running first? So before we consider the investigation of that panel, I'm sure that would just be the icing on the cake, knowing fully well that there are certain issues that we ourselves know that the CBN need not to get themselves involved, which should have been handed over to the ends of the commercial banks. But because of the level of distrust in the ends of some of the people that are supposed to provide this thing, they decided to do that on their own, which is complete distraction of what the monetary policy should be. Now the investigation will be out. But for me, I feel that the new management should hit the ground running with some of the things that they need to do, focusing more on monetary policy, stabilizing our currency, and taming the aspect of inflation to make every businesses grow.
Making rounds, of course, are being investigated. The president of Pegansen recently came out to say that a subsidy has returned, which goes to justify that behind the citizens, the presidency is still paying for fuel subsidy. And this is also confirmed by Daily Trust from their investigation from some of the reports obtained by their reporter. So we want you to help us look at it, because from the findings here, okay, let me read this to you. It says Daily Trust subsequently found documents which showed that despite the numerous assurances by Tinubu that subsidy was gone, the federal government paid 169.4 billion naira as subsidy in August to keep the pump price at 620 naira per litre. Olusegun.
Thank you very much, Nick. If you look at the parameters that informed the cost of PMX, the AGO, that is diesel, I'm sure you and I understand the fact that there is no how subsidy will not come back. As we speak, as at August, we know that the cost of dollar to naira was about 700 to $1. But currently it's going for close to 1,000, if not more than it. Is over 1,000. As at the last count, which I was last week, I think I was having 1,012 naira. And if some of the factors that contribute to the cost of this is the cost of crude oil per barrel, the cost of crude oil per barrel, which has increased to about $90 in the last 2 months, and also the cost of foreign exchange, and it has increased to over 1,000 naira. You and I understand that the cost at which you'll be buying the petroleum product now should have increased from what it used to be in the month of August, which is about 568 as after the last declaration. So be that it may, I think people like us too have said it, that subsidy is back. What we don't know is government sustaining the differential after the 580 that they pegged it in August? That's what they are subsidizing. Or now that we've seen that the basic thing we are supposed to do in the aspect of making sure that our refinery works, domesticate some of the production, even enhance the private sector that have ventured into it work, are we going to revert back to 185 naira at least to stem and drop the cost of living that we are faced with? These are questions that border around us when it comes to this. But be that it may, the two key factors that play key role when it comes to the determination of the price of petroleum is actually on the increase, and there is no how that the production cost or the landing cost will not increase. So subsidy has reverted back into the system through the back door, which is really not too good. But this will definitely give us the challenge of some of the things we've been saying, that the government needs to be intentional in fixing our refinery and allowing those private sector that have actually invested a lot to make sure that the refinery work, and then we are able to have those things more reasonably. You see, it's not about the cost of production locally that is my concern, but some of the things that this local refinery will definitely, it will enhance our employment rate. People will definitely have
the price of fuel will be reduced.
Nikki, I didn't hear you clearly.
What I'm saying is, you are being optimistic that refineries should be, repaired. Now, if these refineries begin to function, what is the certainty that the price of fuel can be reduced, maybe to the rate we had prior?
Yeah, well, it may not be reduced to the rate at which we had prior, but one thing on its own, a contributing factor to whatever that we might be saying. So for me, if you to refine the product, I don't know if I'm still being heard. If you are able to refine the product locally, part of the things we are going to benefit from is that the cost of freights will definitely be removed from it. Even though if you are selling the product to the refinery at the prevailing market rate with the crude oil is being sold, when we discover that we will be domesticating some of the things, there won't be pressure on foreign exchange, which will give ample opportunity for other businesses, most especially the manufacturing sector, to access this foreign exchange. Because what you'll be doing definitely is that you are producing it here and we are buying it here at a local currency. Also, the byproducts that we'll get from this crude oil will be used as input into other arms of the government. That is very germane. We are not thinking in that direction. We are only looking at the cost of that particular product. Imagine the refined product like refinery, byproduct like fertilizer, being given to the agricultural sector. As we speak, we are buying that. We are importing it because we are not refining our product locally. Jelly also plays a prominent role in the manufacturing sector. bitumen, and so many other things. Paraffin, these are byproducts of the crude oil if it's being locally refined. So when you get those byproducts, which you are not, taking to be part of your cost of production, being factored into an input for other sectors, you see the economy growing. So that those other aspects, you talked about the issue in your newspaper review of Ajakuta coming back to beer. If you're able to work on some of those things, you produce those things locally, you give room for employment, more people will be able to use their creativity to grow the business. So for me, it's the intake thing. We've had commitment of the president to see the Port Harcourt refinery coming on board. But the question is, Dangote promised us August. We are in October and we are not hearing anything. And we have our investment in that, we have our stake in it. So we want the government at least to speak to us to see how far we've gone, even if it is not going to be too marginal, but at least a reduction in it will reduce the pressure on our foreign exchange.
Please let them back their words with action.
Olusegun, according to the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Dr. Betta Edu, he says the federal government is set to relaunch the Trader Money Scheme. I don't know if you know about the Trader Money Scheme. Next month. Yeah. And they'll be increasing the loan from 10,000 naira to 50,000 naira.
How would this help?
So what are the impacts? What are the benefits of this relaunch to the average trader on the streets?
And even on the economy.
On the economy also.
Yeah, Solomon, each time we hear about government initiative of giving direct or whether doing transfer to indigent, the first thing that comes to bear is on what data are we riding on? What is the level of transparency? Is it not an avenue to settle the political allies that actually work for the politician during their thing? It's something that is quite worrisome. I'm sure we all know how Trader Money went through. The other opposition party at the time was actually saying that it was a way of the administration then to buy the vote of people for them to win the election, of which later was paused. People like us, it's not an advent of saying, let's share money. Don't give us fish, teach us how to fish. And what do we mean by this? Provide infrastructure on which individuals can ride on and exhibit the God's given talent that God has given to us there. You can imagine if this country start experiencing 24-hour power supply, the creativity that is embedded in the individual in terms of education, in terms of, the artisans being able to do it, which we have lost track, be able to solidify the middle class, the middle level people, people graduating from the lower cadre to the middle level. I'm sure the creativity that lies with some of these artisans if they have the power supply to work with. But as we speak, it's a challenge that the power, we cannot even guarantee ourselves 12 hours. And that has necessitated a lot of the people that have, creativity in them, going to jobs that are not really contributing to the economy, but is, contributing more to the taking of their lives. Take for example, people venturing into driving Okada. What is the contributing factor of that to our economy? When somebody can sit down, create itself, either as a welder, a barber, a barbering salon, somebody selling good consumable foods at a reasonable price. So these are some of the things we feel the government can do rather than sharing money, because we've not have confidence in the allocation of funds when it comes to the transfer. The last administration, how much of it have they been able to show to us that these are the people that benefited from it and be able to validate it? So these are my concerns, that you are sharing money is not what you want, but want a situation where you can, provide mini businesses, encourage even the business owners to be able to flourish so that they can engage more people. If you have a business that is functioning well, you can engage cleaner, you can engage office assistant. You can engage the lower cadre people that will contribute to the things that they are doing to their family, rather than sharing money with them that they will still go back and expend. That on its own contribute to inflation,
Here
because you
till
now have
tomorrow.
so much money.
Thank you so
You don't
much,
have those things to do.
Olusegun Okunade, and I think that will be a topic for discussion on another day. How many of our graduates are also driving a motorcycle, instead of engaging themselves in one skill or the other. Everybody wants to ride bike and tricycle
And make quick money.
and make quick money, you know. So, Olusegun, this is all we'll take from you today. Many thanks for joining. We hope when we call again, you will be ready to analyze as the expert you are.
Thank you very much, Nick and Solomon, for having me this morning, and wishing all our viewers the best. I will leave you with this: create the happiness that you desire, because there is always light behind the tunnel. Thank you and have a blessed week.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
sir. Thank you.
Olusegun Okunade. Olusegun Okunade is our business analyst, the policy and public affairs analyst. Many thanks for joining us. All right, viewers, right about now, we'll take a short break and we will bring to you the report on Mohbad's death investigation as presented by the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State. So let's take a short break and listen to that, after which our expert will be reviewing this very report. Stay with us.
It's Humor Hangout with Kofi the Guru, your host with the most. Ricky is a virgin. Why you virginity?
I like food and I eat a lot, and you don't really see my body.
Where's the eat a lot?
You don't see my body. That's a special thing.
What's the female for Philip?
Philip. It can't be Philippines. It can't be Filipina.
Philomena. Paul.
Paula.
Tunde.
Tunde, no.
Like I tell people, it's for you to be great in whatever you do, you have to stay humble and believe that you are a learner.
Have you ever been asked to play a romantic role?
Of course, I've played romantic roles.
Hi, my name is Iyabo Ojo, and you're watching Humor Hangout with Kofi the Guru.
Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
We need to remove him, otherwise we are going to be in trouble. You must kill him today, not tomorrow. Today!
There's a handsome prize on your head. And if you can top it, you walk free.
She's even awake. She's awake?
Will you stop that? And don't you dare repeat that again.
What is she doing?
I don't know.
My son is nowhere to be found and you asked me to relax. I can't.
So we're not going to eat?
You have to eat. Look at you. So you actually want to eat that food?
The way this food is smelling, I think it's really going to be delicious.
Oh, my son! Oh, my son!
What are you doing here?
I will not let you send her out.
She's your rival, you know.
I know she's your wife, and I know it's not right for you to treat her like that.
You heard me. Send yourself out before I come back to this house.
High Chief Major General James. Good evening.
What is good about this evening? Huh?
What happened now?
Don't mind them. You're not going anywhere. You stay.
Please. Please. What are you doing out of bed? I needed a drink. You could have called me.
I'm not the father of a thief. And that is what your son is. A thief. Stole the document to my house and sold it. And I swear, he's going to rot in jail.
It's okay, baby.
It's not okay.
Hello? Hello?
Was directed at addressing two fundamental questions. Firstly, what are the immediate chain of events that occasioned the death of Mohbad? Secondly, who are the actors that could, within the context of extant criminal law and procedures, be evidentially held criminally liable, either individually or jointly, for the death of Mohbad on 12 September 2023. In addressing the latter components of these questions, due investigative actions were focused on the allegations of possible complicity in the death of Mohbad by Abdulaziz Adesina, aka Naira Marley, and Samson Erinfolami Balogun, aka Sam Larry, who both were widely alleged in the social media of conspiring to serially bully and assault the deceased in his lifetime. It also focuses on allegations on the social media that the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency could be complicit in his death following a viral video in which the late singer raised the narrative of his experience while in custody of the agency prior to his death. The intent of this component of the investigation is to establish if there is any evidential proof to circumstantially or directly link the allegations against Naira Marley, Sam Larry, and NDLA to the eventual death of Mohbad on 12 September 2023, and interrogated on the alleged roles in the sequence of events that led to the death of the singer. The summary is as follows. Ms. Feyi Sayo Ogedengbe is the auxiliary nurse who was contacted and invited by Yobami Sadiq, aka Spending, a friend of Mohbad, on 11 September 2023 to treat the singer at the deceased residence in Lekki. She eventually came on Tuesday, 12 September 2023 and administered 3 different injections, which are believed to have occasioned the chain of reactions that directly resulted in the eventual death of the singer.
Well, the reports many Nigerians have been waiting for is what you have heard. Of course, it is still an unfolding investigation report by the police. However, salient things we need to look in this report is it is an auxiliary nurse that is said to have injected Mohbad. We're now being joined by security expert Peter Okolo. Hello, Peter. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Many thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, Peter, quickly, let me first have your, as a security expert, give us your view in regards to the death of this young artist and the findings so far.
All right. I mean, my view are very clear on this. The police on their own have done an extensive job in ensuring that at least we'll have an idea of what led to the death of this budding singer, Mohbad. Of course, a lot of questions this need to be asked. You know, we understand that, of course, he died from a negligent environment and a negligent treatment from an auxiliary nurse who, by our standard, wasn't qualified to treat him. And of course, it was treated in a non-clinical environment, which was the house of the singer. But my very question that I'm very concerned about is, before the police stepped into the matter, we had a lot of social media issues. Social media was agog. The whole of the streets of Nigeria was agog with protests and all of that. And some of the issues that have just been thrown up was never brought to the fore. And when there was a fight, nobody had mentioned that. There was a treatment, auxiliary nurse was brought into this house. His friends never mentioned that. And all of that threw the streets of Nigeria into chaos. Right? And I want to strongly believe that, you know, that Naira Marley and Sam Larry should be grateful to the Nigerian police right now for holding them. Because I can tell you that if they had walked the streets of Lagos, they would have been lynched. Nigerian youth would have taken, you know, laws into their hands. Okay? Of course, from what we have seen and from the outcome of the reports from the police, Naira Marley and Sam Larry were not even in country as at that time. That has been established that they were not in country at that time. And then, of course, the involvement was not in any way related to the direct death of the singer. And so I think that more needs to be done by the police in terms of trying to set some level of connections between the person that invited spending that invited the auxiliary nurse to treat the singer. So we need to be able to ensure that there is no link between them and Naira Marley. That's where the police need to focus on now, to be able to clear Naira Marley and Sam Larry on the clear involvement of the singer. That's my thoughts on this.
But Okolo, looking at it from the angle that these two men, Naira Marley and Sam, that they bullied him, and all of what the artist said before now, gave the police a report before now that wasn't really acted upon. What does this imply? Does this not tells us that somewhere, somehow, Naira Marley and Sam Larry should actually be investigated beyond what we are seeing at the moment?
Certainly, and that's why they are still being held. That's why you remember that the police had already charged them earlier on, even before the report came out. And that's also because they have a digital evidence. They had already a digital evidence that was enough to charge them to court, which was on the basis of which the police used to charge them to court. So, for me, the police needs to do more, in trying to establish that connection. All right, they had the bullying, cyberbullying is a serious crime. I mean, it comes with sanctions, it comes with criminal sanctions, and certainly they would still have more of their days in court on that. So that would not take away the fact that they will not have their day in court. But what I'm trying is to how to establish that direct connection on the cause of death. All right, that direct cause. That's really my thoughts on this. Thank you.
There was an online video trending that Mohbad did, that he said he was given some substance to drink at the NDLA office, and that substance actually affected him. I mean, that's the angle, the NDLA angle to this. What's your take on this?
Well, remember in the course of the police. All right, remember that the CP had also written to the NDLA, to get expert opinion on those issues, which is being awaited. So we cannot presume or just take a position now when that report has not come in. So we have to be able to wait on the NDLA. There are other expert organizations that also the police has written to, the Pharmaceutical Association of Nigeria and all other government agencies that will have to give an expert opinion on some of the things that the police have requested. So I think that we would not be able to, it would be, out of place to begin to speak when the police have actually sent in a request to the NDLA and there's no particular response on that now from them. So I think that we will allow the NDLA to respond appropriately. That will give us a better picture on what we'll be able to speak on this.
Peter Okolo, many thanks for your submission. There is more to be asked on this very report, and we will just continue to take them one after the other. Many thanks for making your contribution. We hope you have a beautiful day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, viewers, we've been speaking to Peter Okolo. He is a security expert based in Lagos, and he has been able to give us his own views in regards to the report as released by the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State. We'll take a short break, after which we'll bring another security expert from the United States to join us and also look at this very issue. Stay with us.
the sky, ladies and gentlemen.
Demand attitude.
I am Salahuddin.
Demand excitement. Demand action.
You cannot run away from the shadow. Yes. Oh, yeah. Stop there. Huh? Where do you think you're going? Huh? Like I told you, I am your shadow. Pay me my money. Sorry, landlord, I'll pay you your money. Found woman for me. Found woman.
Are you not tired of being a tenant? At Revolution Plaza Property, we offer affordable housing in our 43 estates across Nigeria. Contact us now on visit www.revolutionplusproperty.com.
Revolution Plus Property. Affordable housing.
Close to a decade, Revolution Plus Property has remained number one. Number one in affordable housing. Number one in making thousands of Nigerian landlords. Over 9,500 Nigerians already made landlords. We are number one in putting smiles all over the faces of thousands and millions all over the world. Proudly bridging the gap, the housing deficit in Nigeria. Our core values remains innovation, integrity, trust, and timely delivery. Our dedicated and hardworking staff members are committed to this vision and values. We pride ourselves as the provider.
Well, so glad to have you back. Yes, like you said earlier, that another security expert will be joining us from the United States of America, precisely in New York. We're now being joined by Dennis Amakre, a security specialist now in the United States of America. Good morning, Dennis Amakre.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm beautiful, and it's so good to have you join us this morning.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so Dennis, we are looking at the death of this young Nigerian, an artist, and his death has been causing a lot of talks. There's a lot of controversy surrounding the deaths of this very young man. And right now, the police have come up with their investigation report. As a security expert with many years of experience, you have been a director with the Department of State Security. Can you tell us how you see this report? What's your analysis about this very report and the death of this very young artist?
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me to throw my opinion on this particular controversial issue of the young talent that died. Because we're in the age of social media. In fact, the social media is abuzz with all kinds of stories. Many of them are unfounded stories. A lot of them are half-truths. Some of them are speculations and stuff like that. So I think one thing is that I am coming into this as an investigator, and I just wanted to, I don't know this particular person, I was not there when it happened, but I'm looking at it at the investigative level whereby justice could be done for Mohbad himself.
Commissioner of Police CP Owonwa, all pointers shows that it is an auxiliary nurse that injected her severally. I wouldn't know if you would like to take a listen to that report so you can have a better review in regards to this topic of discussion.
Okay.
Again, and hear what he has to say about their findings.
This was directed at addressing two fundamental questions. Firstly, what are the immediate chain of events that occasioned the death of Mohbad? Secondly, who are the actors that could, within the context of extant criminal law and procedures, be evidentially held criminally liable, either individually or jointly for the death of Mohbad on 12 September 2023. In addressing the latter components of these questions, due investigative actions were focused on the allegations of possible complicity in the death of Mohbad by Abdulaziz Adesina, aka Naira Marley, and Samson Erinfolami Balogun, aka Sam Larry, who both were widely alleged in the social media of conspiring to serially bully and assault the deceased in his lifetime. It also focuses on allegations on the social media that the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency could be complicit in his death following a viral video in which the late singer raised the narrative of his experience while in custody of the agency prior to his death. The intent of this component of the investigation is to establish if there is any evidential proof to circumstantially or directly link the allegations against Naira Marley, Sam Larry, and NDLA to the eventual death of Mohbad on 12 September 2023, and interrogated on the alleged roles in the sequence of events that led to the death of the singer. The summary is as follows. Ms. Feyi Sayo Ogedengbe is the auxiliary nurse who was contacted and invited by Yobami Sadiq, aka Spending, a friend of Mohbad, on 11 September 2023 to treat the singer at the deceased residence in Lekki. She eventually came on Tuesday, 12 September 2023 and administered 3 different injections, which are believed to have occasioned the chain of reactions that directly resulted in the eventual death of the singer. She is the principal suspect in the death of Mohbad. She acknowledged that it was the injections that she administered on the deceased that triggered the reactions which eventually led to Mohbad's death.
All right, Dennis. So let's get a reaction.
Okay. You see, there are too many loose ends, you know, and when you are investigating something like this, almost everybody that has been mentioned is a suspect. And there are primary suspects, and there are secondary suspects, and tertiary suspects. Because when you look at it, well, the police had come up with the primary suspect, or who was directly involved in the death of Mohbad. That's an auxiliary nurse. And in fact, I like to comment on that area. You know, Nigerians are too, I don't know why we cannot go to the hospital and then deal with a physician, a qualified doctor, you know, to administer drugs. Now, from what I've been reading, this Septacyon, the injection that she administered on him, is one that, is a controlled one, although it is misused, because there are so many studies that those who use it actually, if not controlled by a certified doctor, usually end up dead. So she is the primary suspect. And then, of course, we go to who are the secondary suspects? Who invited her? How did she get to that house? Who prescribed that drug? How did she come to know about these drugs that she was administering to the patient? These are things we need to know, because when you look at it, many Nigerians don't go to the hospital. They are sick. Instead of going to the hospital, they say, "Oh, just buy me paracetamol there, or do this or that for me." So, besides the case, I think Nigerians have a lesson to learn, whereby you have to at least don't joke with your life. It's a life. It is not a cloth that you wear and remove and throw away. It's your life. So we have that primary suspect. Secondary suspects, we have Sam Larry, we have Naira Marley, we have his wife, because that's another one. We have another one that the police itself has declared wanted, Prime Boy or something like that. All these people have to give statements to the police, and the police have to investigate all the alibis or whatever they are saying that they were, where they were, and their involvement, so that the police will start to connect the dots. And by the time you start connecting the dots, there will be a picture, a picture of what actually happened. But right now, the investigation is inconclusive yet. I think it's still ongoing. And I think we'll wait for the police to finish, because apparently we've had experts all over the social media. Some of them are doctors, some of them are lawyers, trying to give their own narrative about what is going on.
Okay, Dennis, before now, it's been said that according to the late singer, Mohbad, he alleged that he was being given a kind of a
bottle of water
at the NDLEA office. Can we establish a case of conspiracy here? You have worked with the DSS. Is there any possibility that security agents can actually connive with those that are against an individual to kill the person?
I don't believe so. I don't believe it. In fact, the police had come out to say that, NDLA has written to the police. The police said that they were waiting for a report from the NDLA. And NDLA have come back to say that, hey, we never detained this guy. The guy was never detained with them. So that's why I'm saying that, let's wait for the investigation to conclude before we started, because all these rumors about he drank water, they beat him and all those kind of stuff, the investigation will bring it out, because there was a coroner inquest. And the coroner inquest, right from his body, checking out even his internal organs to find out exactly the cause of death. And this inquest is going to come out with, proper results. But all the other ones about speculation, they gave him something to drink, we don't know what is inside, I don't think we should take that seriously.
Practitioner Gani Faweimi I had an interview with him before he died, and part of what he said was that he was also given a substance, either it was injected, I think he said it was injected, then at the office of the DSS. And that's why I'm a bit worried that if the boy came out to say this, or wrote a report to the police prior that some people are after his life, and we didn't hear anything until he gave up the ghost. How then do we say that there's no possibility of conspiracy here that eventually led to Mohbad's death?
Okay, let us reconstruct it. Is it when they gave him something to drink and he died later? Or they gave him something to drink, he was released, and after he's been living his life until somebody, an auxiliary nurse came and injected him with a substance that killed him, and any ordinary person can, look at these things and say, this is the situation. Even a child can tell because the sequences are wrong. I don't know. You said you interviewed Gani Fahimi when he was in the detention with the DSS. Apparently, it must be when. Say that again.
When he came out, when he was released.
Yeah. Okay. Now he said that when he was with the DSS, I know Gani Fahimi very well. In fact, I have arrested him before. I have kept him in detention, and the man is a fantastic guy. I can tell you that. I can tell you that he was a very fantastic guy who was always ready to talk with security agents. Most of the time he will tell us, please, Dennis, I am actually fighting for you young ones. What he used to say to us, when he's in detention. And when he's in detention, everybody takes care of him very well because he's a very, very expensive detainee that you don't joke around with. If he falls sick, maybe people don't know, even just like the police, the DSS has a medical center right in their office there that takes care of people. Why should somebody want to inject him to kill him instead of him being injected to keep him alive so that he will answer the questions that are coming to him?
Several reasons that I hope we will have to bring you again to help us dissect the issue further, of course, as the reports continue to unravel what has led to the death of Mohbad. Well, Dennis, this is much that I can take from you. Many thanks for being a part of the program, and I hope I wish you a very beautiful day.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Viewers, we have been speaking with Dennis Amakri. He is a security expert, was in Nigeria, and eventually traveled to the United States of America. Right about now, we will take a short break, and we will like to enlighten you basically about a vaccination that the Lagos State government is set to begin to administer to young girls from the age of 9 to 14. We want to look at the genuity of this very vaccine. How safe is it for our girls from the age of 9 and 14? We'll take a short break and we will be right back. Stay with us.
Welcome to Naija Plus. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no. Wetin be your plan for your country, and wetin you sef want make your country do for you. You need to give something before you take something. Now the only way matter fit balance. No be say fowl no plan to fly you, but the power no carry am. As matter dey shele for inside Naija, make you sef chook your mouth, make we build our country. No be every time we go talk things bad. Come out for that corner before mosquito bite your tortoise. Oya, e get as e happen for your area and you want make plenty eye see am, make you hear am, make you for reach authority. You get video of the scene? Send am sharp sharp. Before I forget, now top super screen we dey and my name na Mr. Peace, that MC with a biggie swag. Naija na for everybody. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no.
I'm tired of you, please. Let the innocent girl be now.
I miss you so much.
I miss you too.
Yes.
Let your wife catch you.
Banana, follow me.
I found a new helper.
My Rose, who is he?
Who is this monkey? What are you doing here, man? What?
This is the way we do it,
It is both of you who have jellophobia, or whatever you call it. Nonsense.
Is that why my Igbo can't they frown like a kuli kuli? Yeah?
Yes.
You come to me with him. Oh,
So you have the guts to call the girl useless now, huh? Why didn't you raise your head while she was here and see if she wouldn't have painted your face black with blows?
Yeah, Madi now. Yeah, Madi. Now they are going where they walk up and down be this.
Let's get you fool.
Shut up!
Mama, where were you this afternoon? Where? Open this gate! Open the damn gate!
This is the way we do it,
Now, because they fight all of them, it is always good to live in peace with our neighbor.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Yay! 25 years.
When people from different backgrounds live together, there is bound to be dispute of boundary, shared amenities. Your favorite TV comedy drama is now wearing a new look as Face to Face rebranded.
Hey, Ajani. Yes, sir. There is problem in the house. Your brother wife, they carry man, come house.
Like. It not go happen. My brother wife. See, now me supposed to inherit that woman. No.
Baby Julius.
Baby
Julius. Baby.
Wait. I've been expecting this. I've been expecting this.
Starring your favorite star actors, Face to Face rebranded.
Mama Sule, if you don't get this your rubbish off my precious baby now, I will throw it away.
Some school of thoughts believe the major challenges confronting Nigeria as a nation is caused by poor leadership. How true is this?
You and I can actually put government into tools to deliver the dividends of democracy. Join us every Saturday by 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Let us look at the issues confronting us as a nation. Together we talk heads. Nigeria can be great again. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. Keep it date. So have you back? You're still watching U45 Morning Show. And yes, like we told you earlier, that there is a particular vaccine the Lagos State government is set to administer to our girls from the age of 9 to 14. And now this vaccine is called human papilloma vaccine. And we need a health expert to help shed light on this particular vaccine and its safety for our girl child. We are now being joined by Dr. Anthony Osahele. Dr. Anthony Osahele, good morning. Doc? Okay, I don't know why we don't have Doc here. However, let's quickly take a listen to the report in which the Lagos State government representative did an announcement for Lagos resident. Her name is Dr. Abimbola Maboguje, the permanent secretary of District 6. So let's quickly take a listen to what she has to say. Okay, Doc is here already. Dr. Osahele, good morning.
Good morning. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you clearly, and I'm glad I can hear you clearly this morning. You look good.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
You're welcome. Doc, this is an issue. This is the issue we have at hand. We are looking at this human papilloma vaccine, which the Lagos State government is set to administer to young girls. We want to first, we would want you to first of all enlighten the public about this very vaccine.
Okay, thank you so very much. The HPV vaccine is meant to be a vaccine, according to literature, that prevents the HPV virus infection in ladies. So there will not be any incidence of cancer in the back of the throat, the cervix, the uterus, and so on. Now, a lot of times it's also associated with people who have been sexually exposed, and so it's an infection, that is associated with those who have been sexually exposed. And so it stated that you want to give this to ladies to prevent the formation of certain sorts of tumors that could result from this particular virus. Now, the question for some health experts and for several of us is there's been a whole lot of controversies, a whole lot of questions, unanswered questions in some cases with certain vaccines that we have seen in the past couple of months and weeks, and tracking side effects of those vaccines and what we are beginning to see across the world as evidenced by studies that are being published here in the United States and in Europe and different parts of the world. A whole lot of information have not been divulged, and carrying people along and informing parents, in this particular case now, of the benefits, if there are, of this particular vaccine is very vital. Now, because of what people had seen in the recent past with certain vaccines and the usefulness in dealing with conditions that it was supposed to deal with, a lot of questions and then hesitancy has come up, and rightly so, because some of the things that are being observed, particularly, for example, with the recent SARS-CoV-19 vaccines, in several parts, of the world, and the after effects and aftermath of them, and even when you are putting together the benefits of the vaccine in those who were vaccinated, and if you measure that against those who were not vaccinated, and then you track the effects, okay, as recently published by NIH in one of their studies on their website in the United States, you find that clearly those who were not vaccinated are very much better. And this is not just for the COVID vaccine. So the hesitancy is very much is acknowledged. The hesitancy is very much noted that is taking place. Parents are also very concerned because some persons also feel these are schoolgirls who are not even in. They are not meant to be in. How will you put it? Sexually active at this particular point. So they are wondering why this is going on in the schools. Some parents are asking questions about them not being carried along. They were not aware this was going to be taking place, and vaccination is going to be done. The girls may not be in a position to give the kind of consent that is supposed to be given, not being adults and so on. So these are some of the questions that are out there. We've got lots of people asking these questions. And if you also track what is going on internationally, you're beginning to see, the rise in numbers of those who are opposing, even this particular HPV vaccine, even though at the moment it does appear that from what have been published, they say that the after effect or side effects are reduced for this particular vaccine. But again, this is coming from authorities, coming from people that, you've seen in the past who made certain statements concerning safety of certain vaccines, only to turn around later to discover that those statements were not entirely true. So the hesitancy is understandable.
Okay, Doc, definitely a lot of answers, a lot of questions begging for answers. And that's the reason for which we have invited you as a health expert to help us shed light on some of our concerns. And now the concern now is, what is the safety of this very vaccine? I would want us to, first of all, Doc, I would want you to listen to Dr. Abimbola Mabogunje, who represented the Lagos State government to do the announcement, after which we will talk about this very question. Please, let's quickly take a listen to Dr. Abimbola Mabogunje.
Age between 9 years and 14 years old. Please let's. My name is Dr. Abimbola Mabogunje. I'm the Permanent Secretary of Health District 6. This is an announcement about the upcoming human papilloma virus vaccination, which comes up on the 25th of September till the 30th of September. It is for all girls aged between 9 years and 14 years old. Please let your girls come out and be vaccinated. You can go to they're coming to all schools. They're going to be in all primary healthcare centers. We're going to be going around and seeing children wherever we can and in religious centers. It is safe. It is protective against cervical cancer, and it is free of charge. It is supported by the Lagos State government and most especially the First Lady of Lagos State, Dr. Ebijoke Sanwo-Olu. Please bring your girls out to be vaccinated. It is for their benefit. Let us keep our girls safe in Lagos State. My name is Dr. Abimbola.
Well, Dr. Abimbola Mabogunje, dear Doc, telling us that this very vaccine is very safe for our girls. Now, Doc, looking at the international agenda on having to reduce the population in Africa, do you think this has any connection with this very vaccine, especially because I don't think we have a prevalence of cervical cancer in Nigeria? What's your take, Doc?
I think that what I would say is this. When we had the COVID-19 incident here in Nigeria, there were a lot of calls by several health professionals to say, look, we need to domesticate our response to COVID-19. And it's the same thinking that, one would also approach any other kind of intervention in handling the health of the population. We have to be clear. I don't know if that has been done at the moment. We have to be very clear about the constituents of any vaccine that is going to be given out to our girls and given to people. We have to be very clear about that. I know that authorities are usually very concerned in seeing to it that the best interests of the populace is served. But again, taking that further, we need to be very, very, very careful to ensure that any concern that is being raised by any citizen, by any person, is a concern that should be looked at, and not just to be lumped up and say these are people that are anti this or anti that. It's very important to take a look at those concerns and find a way to assuage them by doing the needful. If there's a call to look at the profile of this particular vaccine, check its constituents. We have our own laboratories to be able to verify and do all of these things. So if you're able to do that, and then engagement is very vital. So people can ask questions, people can get answers, people can go all the way. And of course, science allows you to be able to discuss, to be able to communicate, to be able to bring up your own opinions, bring up papers that you have reviewed, to say this is the position of various papers that we have reviewed, this is what is being said, and then the other person comes with his own papers, and then we have this conversation. It's a very robust conversation. Everybody gains, everybody benefits, and what's important at the end is that the citizens get the highest standard of care at the end of the day. So my take on this will be that it's very important to have this sort of, town halls or something, forum, where people can actually discuss this, and all aspects of the implementation can be probably looked at, before a mass rollout. I'm not sure if that has been done. I stand to be corrected. I'm not sure. But again, like I said, it is important to have very robust engagement, verify the contents of these various vaccines, because anybody can come and tell you, and we have had incidences in the past where certain vaccines or medicaments were dished out and the safety profile was hailed, only to turn around later when they began to have the deleterious effects to then say, oh, so was not checked, or oh, we are sorry, and so on. But then if harm has been done, I'm sorry, it's not going to cut it.
What would you advise the government do? What would you advise the government do concerning this vaccination? What's the best thing possible for the government to carry out this vaccination?
Yeah, so the approach has to be general, and if possible, sort of like a national thing. And it's the same thing for nations. Need to actually take a look at this. States need to take a look at ensuring that any medicament that is coming in, we have to find a way to ascertain that what is stated to be contained therein is what is contained therein. I'll give you a picture, an example. For example, in Kenya, a couple of years back, we had a situation where there was a flooding. And then after the flooding, there was the tetanus injection. Tetanus was brought in to be given and vaccinating all people in that area. Now, interestingly, people that were being vaccinated were childbearing females majorly, and the males were being left out. And then the Catholic Association of Doctors in Kenya decided to pick samples randomly from different parts of Kenya. And then what did they do? They did their own assessment and sent those samples to South Africa for testing to be done on the constituents. It was found out that those particular samples of tetanus vaccines had HCG inside of them, human chorionic gonadotropin. And of course, this is something that is used in certain products of sterilization. And so that drew a lot of questions. That matter is still being looked at in some legal consideration is still ongoing about that matter. And a lot of brouhaha came up. The government had to stop that particular exercise in their country. But the thing was targeted at ladies, young ladies. So the thing is this: it is important for this kind of testing to be done, this kind of verification to be done with anything that is coming to the country. It's part of the responsibility, of government that is trying to make sure that the citizens get
I have a question for you. You earlier said that sexually active ladies can be candidates for this vaccine, but the targeted age range is 6 to 14. What could be the potential risks? And
9 to 14.
Sorry, 9 to 14. What could be the potential risks for giving these girls this vaccine?
True.
Well, potential risk of giving the girls the vaccine. So it of course will depend on the constituents. It will depend on what the constituents are. If there are any other maybe heavy metals in the particular formulation that is being utilized, all of that remains to be seen. Again, I go back to stating that it is vital to know exactly what the constituents are, because we have had cases in the past where the constituents were not just in quotes what was supposed to be the ingredient or the what would be stimulating, all right, what was supposed to be just the vaccine ingredient itself. No, the constituent also had the formulation also had other materials in there, okay, and many of them have been noted to have the deleterious effect on those who use them. For example, those vaccines that were containing mercury and so on that find their way to the brain, they have been implicated in Alzheimer's disease in the US. Also, for those that have autism, all right, for children, you know, they've had the incidence of autism in the US, for example, where they have several of these vaccines that contain mercury and so on. So again, professionals are asking that these vaccines that are coming in, or any other medicament for that matter, it's important that the profile, the ingredient, active ingredient profile, and its constituents are properly evaluated and checked before then, you know, issued out in such a massive scale. I will not be able to speak to the specific adverse effects that may be present without the knowledge of the constituents therein. One will not be able to speak to those adverse effects.
All right, be that as it may, Doc, finally, what would be your advice as a medical expert, your advice to parents and guardians in this aspect?
Do your research. Do your research. Just the same way that every parent has a responsibility to look after their child. I am one person that I advocate that parents have, you know, a right over their children, at least until they get to adult age, where they are able to make their own decisions. The parents need to do their research. They need to find out what is good for them, just as you have the right to decide that you are taking a particular medication or not, okay, based on you know, what knowledge you have regarding its benefits and its risk. It's important that you do your research and take your decision based on what findings that you have, you know, to know what you are allowing or not allowing for your children. This is very important. Do your research.
This morning on U45 Morning Show, this is all the time will permit us to take from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, viewers, we have been speaking to Dr. Anthony Osayale, a medical expert based in Lagos State. We'll take a short break here, and when we return, we will know what is happening in the world of sports with Sporting Joel. I'm trying to remember just Wakego, exactly. So let's take a short break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching U45 Morning Show. Like I told you earlier, right here, all over the world, sports is live. Let's now join Joel Nwakigo Joel, what's happening in the world of sports?
Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to Sports on your 45 morning show. A lot is happening in the world of sport. We're starting with the NPFL. It was week 2 and wrap up, and goals were scored in different zones. It's good to know we had about 6 home wins. Plateau United 1 and Heartland 0. Somewhere in Niger State, it was 1-0 against Rivers United, the champion in the CAF Continental. And also you have Bendel Insurance 2-0 on 3SC, and Gombe had it 2-0 over Eyimba. Eyimba couldn't get a win, even if you have Kanu Wanko out there in the pitch. Lobby Stars 3, Sunshine 2, and they had to share the spoils in Akwa United. It was 0-0 against Sporting Lagos. And at the table stand, you have Sporting Lagos leading the pack, and also Lobby Stars out there in second, and Bendel Insurance in third. Yeah, when Davido made the song unavailable, a lot of people felt it was joking, and it was a war of words, exchange of words, and between Penika Maju and Davido. He was paid some money to come out there and do stuff for and the world people, but he couldn't make it. And Penika Maju is not happy. There have been a lot of exchange of talks here and there. And also, the list for the game against Ethiopia is out. 22 list for the Super Falcons. We talk on Ethiopia, and it's the qualifiers for the Olympic that comes up 2024. And among that list, good to know you have a home-based player in the person of Opeyemi Ajakaye. She plays for Robo Queens. And also in the Skating Federation, they'll be having the first national skating tournament that comes up in Abuja later in the month. It's good to know Nigeria is into skating, and a lot of beautiful games out there. Well, that's it for sports. Stay tuned for more sports update later in the day on Sport Hall by 3 p.m.
Beautiful. The sporting Joel. At least you've helped us start our day in a very special way.
Exactly.
We go with sports, isn't it?
You're not looking bad yourself.
Thank you so much. It's Monday. All right, viewers, this is where we will draw the curtain on this U45 morning show. Many thanks for being a part of the program. I'm Adenike Weye Ajiboye.
I am Osage Solomon.
And I'm Joel Wake.
And from all of us, it's a bye for now.